guys, welcome back. It's actually been 2 days. I let this set an extra day just to make sure it was dry because I had put so much on here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to guide coat and block sand this down and see what it looks like. See if it's ripply, see if we have any low spots, high spots, what it looks like, so that we get this thing ready for paint tomorrow. What's in that container? That is an actual guide coat container with the foam pad and the handle. I've since used up all the guide coat that was in there. I replaced it with black chalk line chalk from Home Depot or Lowe's. It's a couple bucks for a container, way cheaper than buying that. I bought that for the first round so that I would have the applicator pad and the handle for it. From then on, I've been just using black chalk from Home Depot or Lowe's. Way cheaper, readily available. You can go to any Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, Ace Hardware, True Value, anywhere is going to sell chalk line chalk. So let's put a little bit on there and we'll start block sanding it and see what it looks like. Right away it's going to show me my highs and low spots. I'm going to turn the vacuum cleaner on here. I have 180 grit on here. So as you can see, this spot right here looks really good. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to the other side. You can see how it sanded down really quickly because our body work is really good. So if you have good body work, it's going to sand down quick because you don't have a lot of imperfections to sand out. Now, I do not like to block sand with 320 grit, especially on 2K primer. I think the primer is too thick and too heavy, and it won't cut through the primer. It'll kind of guide over top and cause a ripply effect. So cutting it with 180 is the way to go. And then after that, I use the foam pad with a 320 grit on my DA sander. So let's see how this side looks. So just a quick flocking right here. You can see that's low, that's low, that's low, and that's low. But that should come right out. one low spot left, a little one right there. Okay, we got it. Jump over to the back side. We'll do that real quick, and then we'll do the side over here, and then the little areas I'll just do off the camera. Front looks good. One tiny little high spot in the middle here. I don't think it's anything to worry about. This is a low spot right here. What that was from is I dripped a little glue on there and I ground the glue down. Hopefully that'll come out. All right, I got it. That just goes to show how thick this primer really is. Let me jump over to that other side real quick. All right, this side looks good. You can see the suction on this thing. It holds to the car. All right, I'm happy with around the front, around the upper window. I still got to do hand sanding in here, which is fine. Might have a couple little pinholes I need to, not really pinholes, but little tiny like gouges that I need to do a little bit of icing on. What that's from is from welding and grinding the weld down. So let's move on to this upper roof rail, or the upper roof part. Do that, and then we'll do this side here, and then we'll do that lower side, and then this small stuff I'm just gonna do off camera. I'm letting the camera run. It's been running for 10 minutes now, and I've already got that roof around that window sanded down within 10 minutes, plus talking, plus moving stuff around and stuff. So you can see it goes pretty quick when your bodywork is done pretty well. So what this is showing right here is where I came back and did a second body application. I found a little bit of a low spot. In this area, it looks like I forgot to put more than one coat of primer on it because I'm going through to the body filler right away. And that was my fault. I apparently just missed that. So I'm probably going to have to do a little bit more filler primer over this area tonight. I'm going to have to, which is fine. It'll dry overnight. I could block it tomorrow. Not a huge deal. I just must have forgot to come back up here for coat 2 and 3. But we're still going to block it down with the 180. Yeah, that sucks that I forgot that, but it happens. Okay, I'm gonna grab a new piece of sandpaper. We're gonna move over to the side over here. That's why I always try to give myself an extra day before I go to paint, just in case I do something like that, which totally just missed it. It happens more than you know. So we're going to work on this one next. I'm going to change that paper. I like to keep my paper sharp. Once it starts dulling, it starts to not work as well. Okay, just because I changed that paper doesn't mean I'm going to throw it away yet, because I could use it for inside the window wells and stuff like that, the window openings. Because that all has to be hand sanded anyway. I'm going at a crisscross pattern. I'm following the roll of the car with the block. Okay, that looks really good as well. Okay, we're going to do down at the bottom real quick on camera, and then I'll do all the other areas off camera. I might just use 1K spray can primer up there. I'll probably just do that, because that'll dry a lot quicker than the 2K. And this is why I don't untape the car yet, because I got to spray a little bit more primer. If I would have untaped it, I would have wanted to cover it back up a little bit to spray a little bit of primer. To me, right here looks a little funky to me, and there's some existing bodywork in that area. Hopefully it looks okay. So you can see I have a little bit of sags in my primer because I put it on real heavy. You can see that this is low here. This is a higher spot. This is low here. Just by running the block across it a few times, it starts to reveal the highs and lows right away. We have a pretty good low spot right here. All right, I got it out. Feels a little bit low there. I'm going to put a little bit of filler in there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the other areas. I'm going to put a little bit of filler in the middle of there. And then when I use the 1K primer, I'm going to hit that filler and the roof area. Okay, all the areas are sanded down with 180 only. I have not gone past 180. Then I went around and I filled in some more pits in the metal, especially stuff that was towards the outer edge, because I don't know how far in that molding sits, because the car came without these moldings in the back, so I wasn't sure how far in they went. So I figured I better be safe than sorry and try to fill in a lot of these at least a 1/4 inch into the car. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some spray can 1K primer. This is it right here. I use this a lot. Spray Max 1K primer works extremely well. It's ready to sand in 1 hour, but I'm just going to let it set overnight. I already put coats up here where I had missed. I put like 5 coats up there just to build it up. And now I'm just going to go around and hit all these spots. I also did do one little coat of icing down there where it felt a little low. Definitely feels better down there. So yeah, I'm just going to hit these spots, and that's the beauty of with the 180 grit, because whatever overspray gets over here, I'll get it with the 320 grit when I use the DA with that foam pad. So we're just going to go like this and just put a couple light coats on. Just want to make sure that I seal that Bondo up. It's actually that icing or whatever I was using, dolphin glaze, because if you don't, the paint is going to stick to that differently, not stick to it, but it's going to react differently to that than it is the rest of the car. So basically what's going to happen is the base coat is going to sink into the Bondo areas, and it's going to lay on top of the primer out here. And what ends up happening is it can create a dark spot in your paint job. So you always want to go over it with the primer. And this is a very good primer. It's used for water-based paint or solvent paint. You can use it for either or. So, you know, that's some of the things you have to check nowadays. If you're spraying water-based, you have to make sure you're using a primer that is compatible with water-based. This is compatible with both, so it doesn't matter. So let me hit these spots, then we'll come back and just take a look at it. Okay, I hit all the spots. They're drying. I'm going to let it dry overnight. So tomorrow's video, around noon, is when I'm going to start. I have to do some things in the morning. And then after that, when I get back to the house, I'm going to come out to the shop. I'm going to 320 this down. We'll do it on the video. Blow this car completely off, untape it, pull it outside, get it in the spray booth, and start getting it taped off. And we're going to get this thing painted tomorrow. That's my goal. By tomorrow evening at some point, this thing should be in paint. And then I'm going to bake the clear. We're going to bake it dry so I can wet sand and buff it on 4th of July. I want to get this thing done because I am going to be starting the paint job on the dually this weekend. My plans are to get the bed, tailgate, rear wheel flares, and the tonneau cover painted for the dually. That's my goal by end of day Sunday is what I really want to have done. Don't know if I'll meet that goal, but that's my goal. As long as this goes well and I can get to that, I think I'll have a good chance of finishing it. I also need to get these running boards sanded down and reprimered again. So that's my weekend goal. And then I got to jump on those motorcycle parts. Once this leaves this weekend, the rest of the dually is going to be coming in here so we can start prepping the body for paint. Once the dually's done, we're going to be working on assembling the 71 Mustang convertible. We're going to completely assemble that car, get it running, driving, and then we're going to do paint touch-ups on it. We're going to repair paint on it and do a little bit of touch-ups to the underbody and stuff like that. I'm going to actually spray a little primer there. So a lot of stuff coming. And then after that Mustang gets done, I'll be working on another 59 hardtop. That is just about ready for paint. Once that gets painted, I will be putting that car together as well. And then after that, then I think I'm ready to do a 64 Impala convertible, I believe, after that. So a lot of projects coming, guys. I'm going to end this video tonight. We'll do another one tomorrow, and we're going to take it from sanding it from 320 grit to cleaning it to taping it to painting it all on one video. I'll have to probably cut out parts here and there because I don't want it to be like a 3-hour long video. But oh, one other thing. Don't go to Home Depot, Lowe's, or the parts store and buy spray can primer, body primer, because that is not going to work with your paint you're going to use for the car. What's going to end up happening is that is a lacquer based primer. You don't want to put that on your car because the lacquer based primer will have a reaction with your base coat that you put on it. The reducer in the base coat will cause that primer to wrinkle up on you and cause you nothing but hell. So make sure you use the appropriate spray can primer if you plan on using that. So all right guys, thanks for watching, have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.